everyone. Welcome to the Happy Life Podcast. Before we start, for those of you who are new to this podcast, this is where I mainly share two main content areas: personal financial management skills and life experiences that I have accumulated. Once again, hello everyone. Now let's start today's topic together. In today's episode, I will share with you one of the most important aspects of our lives, which is the story of salary, or, more broadly, the source of income when we work. Now, when we look around society as a whole and exclude a small group of people who are business owners and another very small group who have passive income sufficient to support themselves, the vast majority of us are people working for a monthly salary. This means that salary is a common point for many people in modern society today, and as you know, salary is a very important aspect of our lives. It is the determining factor for our quality of life, and it also plays a significant role in other important decisions, such as career choices, deciding what job we will do, and work always occupies a very large part of our entire lives. This is not to mention other important aspects that income directly or indirectly affects, such as family happiness or raising children. So, salary is that important, but when we sit down and think about it, we might be startled to realize that many people still do not have the right perspective on salary or how to use it effectively. Hearing this, you might wonder what's so difficult to understand about salary that we don't have the right view of it. It seems simple: it's just the amount of money we receive after each month of work, and how to spend it shouldn't be too hard to grasp. However, this understanding is only superficial, and it unintentionally makes us forget to find the true meaning of salary, which then leads us to not plan how to use it most effectively. In today's episode, I will share some of my analyses with you, hoping that these analyses will help you have a more reasonable perspective on salary, a very important factor in our lives. There's a great quote by billionaire Kevin O'Leary: "A salary is a drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams." These dreams might be the dream of doing the work you love, living with your passions, or living a life free from financial dependence. The way people persuade us to forget those dreams is by making us believe that there are countless risks out there. So, we should not rush out but stay put to do what they want us to do it well, and then they will give us just enough money to eat, dress, and have a place to live. At this point, I'd like to pause for a moment to clarify a point. I do not mean to belittle the importance of having a job that provides for our basic needs, such as food and clothing. I'm aware that for many, these are aspirations in themselves. However, the focus of today's discussion is on those who have achieved these necessities and still possess the potential to strive further. Yet, they find themselves constrained by lullabies. To be frank, this situation isn't much different from animals in a circus. They're required to perform certain acts, and if they perform well, they're rewarded with sustenance, but if not, they face punishment or even starvation. Similarly, in the human world, failing to perform our duties well may lead to termination or, in the worst case, if the circus fails to attract an audience, meaning if the company goes bankrupt, we'll also be left out on the street. So, what's the path for us to break free from this circus and lead our own lives? In my view, it starts with a shift in mindset. In this scenario, we need to transition from viewing our salary as a secure and stable asset to another perspective. We often think that once we secure a job, we're set, that we'll receive a regular monthly income. However, the reality is that in such cases, salaries aren't stable at all. In fact, they entail numerous risks because our monthly earnings depend on the job we do, which, in turn, is subject to various factors. Unfortunately, if we inadvertently violate company regulations, we risk being fired, or if the company experiences financial losses and goes bankrupt, we'll also lose our jobs. Another common occurrence, especially in recent times, is when the economy falters, companies are forced to downsize. Many individuals, despite doing nothing wrong, find themselves forced to depart. Thus, when we solely rely on our salary for our livelihoods, we're essentially entrusting the quality of our lives into the hands of others, into realms beyond our control. To put it more starkly, it's as if we're surrendering our fate for others to determine. In such circumstances, whether we experience joy, sorrow, or hardship, it's dictated by others. Therefore, instead of this perspective, let's attempt to adopt a more realistic outlook. The income derived from our salary is an unstable source and can vanish at any moment. We may currently be in a fortunate phase of earning well, but let's always remind ourselves that it could end abruptly. Changing our perspective will enable us to reassess our strategies on how we utilize our earnings. Understanding that these income sources can disappear at any time, we automatically become more aware of the necessity of shifting these active income sources to passive income. Let me pause for a moment to briefly explain the concepts of active income and passive income. Active income is the result of trading our time and effort for money, while passive income is income that continues to generate money for us even if we are not actively working for it. The process of shifting between these two income sources starts with using the active income we earn from our salary to build passive income streams. Take, for example, if you are a software developer, you could create and sell applications on the App Store or Play Store. Once developed, these applications generate income continuously, even while you sleep. Initially, this passive income may only represent a small percentage of your total earnings. For instance, if your monthly salary is $10,000 and your app generates $1,000 per month, it only contributes about 10% to your total income. However, over time, this passive income can gradually increase to 20%, 30%, or even 40% of your total earnings. Eventually, these passive income streams may become equal to or even surpass your active income, but don't rush to quit your job just yet. At this stage, I often use a formula to share with those around me. When the income from your side hustle doubles your salary, it may be time to consider quitting your job. Specifically, in the earlier example, when your software sales reach around $20,000 per month, doubling your salary, then you might consider resigning. Of course, other factors should also be considered. There may be cases where continuing to work is still advisable, perhaps for the accumulation of experience or learning opportunities. Only after carefully weighing these factors should you decide to quit your job. Quitting isn't about idleness, but rather about redirecting your focus toward building additional passive income streams. The key point I want to emphasize here is not to settle for a job that merely provides a paycheck, but to see it as a stepping stone toward building real wealth. It's these passive income sources that should be our ultimate destination, not just another job. This is the path I always encourage my friends and those around me to choose, gradually freeing themselves from dependence on a paycheck. The content that I just shared with you in today's episode are things that very few employers want you to know because, as I mentioned earlier, they want you to be addicted to the drugs they give you, and they want you to be afraid to go out, afraid to commit to building your own passive income sources, and then at some point, it could be that you will leave them. So why am I also an employer? I have a number of companies in Australia and America. Why do I share these things with you guys? It all comes from a different perspective on my management. I always have a belief that any relationship, from friends to love, in this case, is the relationship between employees and the company. Any relationship should be based on sincerity and the real values that both parties can bring to each other. Therefore, I never entertain the idea of exploiting fear or dependence to retain employees. It is from these foundational principles that I do quite the opposite. In the past, I have always created conditions for my employees to build additional passive income sources, whether through their own business activities or by building a separate YouTube channel or selling an additional product of their own. As long as these things do not affect our common work, I always support them. Some have questioned this approach, but I'm not concerned that employees will eventually become financially independent and leave. I always emphasize to my colleagues that I want them to gain more than just a monthly salary from their work with me. What I desire is for them to gain values beyond lessons, work experiences, or opportunities while working with me, so that each of my associates will have financial freedom in the future. Additionally, I firmly believe that if we have the chance to journey together, even for a short while, it is a significant destiny. From these thoughts, I do not use tricks to keep my employees. On the contrary, I always try to bring them a lot of value. In fact, it has been proven that my approach is quite effective. Up to now, there have been cases where my employees, after achieving financial freedom, continued to work with me, and obviously at that time, they did not work for money anymore but for other values, sometimes simply because they like me. Those are the reasons why I don't hesitate to share this content with you. Hopefully, through the sharing in today's episode, you will gain other perspectives on the aspect of salary as well as our goals when working. I would like to stop my sharing in today's episode here. If you find this content useful, please share it with your friends and relatives. In addition, as usual, because YouTube's algorithm prioritizes videos with many likes, if you like this video, please click on the like button to help more people know about our podcast. Again, thank you for your following and wish you all a peaceful evening.